Destroying Earth is simple. Here's how. Trigger all tectonic plates. Just activate every fault line on Earth at the same time. Tectonic plates normally move slowly over millions of years, building pressure that gets released as earthquakes. If all plates shifted at once, that pressure wouldn't release gradually, it would explode across the entire planet instantly. Entire continents would crack and shift, mountains would collapse, and volcanoes would erupt everywhere simultaneously. Cities built on stable ground would no longer be stable at all. The surface of Earth would behave like a broken shell under extreme stress, with no safe zone anywhere. Earth basically forgets how to stay together. Destroy the ozone layer. Just remove Earth's protective layer completely. The ozone layer acts like a shield, blocking harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Without it, that radiation reaches the surface directly and continuously. Living cells begin to suffer damage, affecting humans, animals, and plant life. Over time, ecosystems collapse because plants can't survive long-term exposure, and food chains break apart. Even oceans are affected as surface life becomes unstable. It's not instant destruction, but a slow breakdown of everything that depends on sunlight balance. Earth loses its invisible armor and starts taking direct hits from space. Delete gravity. Just switch off gravity for 1 second. That's all. Gravity is the force that holds everything to Earth, oceans, atmosphere, buildings, and people. The moment it disappears, nothing is anchored anymore. Air begins drifting into space, and massive bodies of water lift off the surface. Everything that was down becomes weightless chaos. When gravity returns, it doesn't restore order, it causes impact. Water crashes back down, air slams into the surface, and the entire planet experiences global shockwaves. Structures collapse instantly under the force of everything falling at once. 1 second of nothing holding anything is enough. Flip Earth inside out. Just turn the planet inside out like a ball. Deep inside Earth lies a molten iron core, extremely hot and under immense pressure, hotter than lava and comparable to extreme planetary temperatures. The outer crust we live on is thin and fragile in comparison. If Earth were flipped, that core would suddenly be exposed to space and the surface environment. The result is instant thermal chaos. Oceans vaporize, the atmosphere destabilizes, and everything exposed is overwhelmed by heat. At the same time, the crust collapses inward under pressure it was never meant to handle. It's not just destruction, it's the planet collapsing its own structure. Make Earth larger than the sun. Just increase Earth's size beyond the sun. If Earth suddenly became larger than the sun, its mass and gravity would increase beyond anything the current structure could support. Gravity doesn't just pull objects, it reshapes everything. The surface would begin collapsing inward under its own weight. Mountains would flatten, oceans would compress, and the atmosphere would become extremely dense and unstable. Eventually, the planet's structure would no longer remain solid in any meaningful way, potentially transitioning into a far more extreme gravitational state. At that scale, Earth stops being a planet and becomes something else entirely, and nothing survives the transition. Turn off the sun. Just turn off the sun like flipping a switch. The sun is the energy source for all life on Earth. Without it, darkness would spread instantly across the entire planet. There is no gradual adjustment. Light simply disappears. Within hours, temperatures begin to drop, and the surface starts losing heat rapidly. Plants stop producing energy, which collapses the food chain almost immediately. Over time, oceans freeze from the top down, and the planet slowly turns into a frozen, inactive world. Not a violent ending, just total shutdown of everything that depends on light. Stop Earth's movement. Just build something that can completely stop Earth's rotation. Earth spins at incredible speed, over 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. Everything on the surface is already moving at that speed, even if we don't feel it. If the planet suddenly stopped, the ground would stop, but everything else would not. Oceans would continue moving, atmosphere would keep its momentum, and objects not firmly anchored would be thrown forward violently. The result would be planet-wide destruction caused purely by inertia. You don't just stop a spinning world, you unleash everything that was already in motion. Planet collision. Just bring another planet straight into Earth's path. A planetary collision releases energy on a scale far beyond nuclear explosions or natural disasters. The moment two massive bodies collide, the impact generates heat so extreme that rock begins to melt instantly. Shockwaves travel through both planets, breaking their internal structure apart from the core outward. Large fragments are ejected into space, while the remaining mass becomes unstable and chaotic. There is no recovery, no survival, and no stable outcome after an event like this. It's not just an impact, it's the end of planetary structure itself. World War III. Just let every major power escalate everything at once. A full-scale global conflict between major nations would cause widespread destruction across cities, infrastructure, and communication systems. Modern weapons are capable of affecting entire regions in moments, and large-scale conflict would disrupt global supply chains, food production, and energy systems. The consequences wouldn't stay local, they would spread globally, affecting climate, economies, and survival conditions. Even if not total extinction, it would permanently reshape civilization as we know it. This is humanity turning its own systems against itself at maximum scale, nuclear chaos. Just make every major power press the worst possible button at the same time. No coordination, no timing, no control. Just pure global chaos happening simultaneously. Systems overload instantly as reactions stack on top of each other. The sky becomes active with uncontrolled chain reactions, and everything escalates faster than anyone can respond. There's no single moment to point to. It's a cascade of events building on itself. And right when it feels like things have reached their limit, they keep going anyway. At that point, it's not strategy anymore. It's humanity's speedrunning disaster. Ask aliens for help. Just call something unknown and hope it understands us. The problem isn't whether extraterrestrial intelligence could exist, it's whether we could ever understand it. Their logic, goals, and communication could be completely different from ours. What we call help might not match their interpretation at all. That creates a situation where every action becomes unpredictable. Even a peaceful response could have consequences we don't recognize. Sometimes, asking for help from something unknown is just inviting uncertainty at a higher level. Draw Earth and burn it. Or just draw Earth and burn it. After all these massive cosmic and global scenarios, this idea is intentionally simple. It represents reduction, taking something huge and complex and reducing it to nothing in a moment. It's not about physical destruction, but about perspective. Compared to forces like gravity, stars, and planetary collisions, Earth itself is fragile on a universal scale. And sometimes, the simplest image leaves the strongest impression of all. Subscribe if you learned something new.